Does kale cause bloating? Have you ever wondered if kale can lead to bloating? This leafy green is often praised for its health benefits, but for those with sensitive stomachs, it can be a bit tricky. Let's break it down. Kale is a cruciferous vegetable, and it is generally considered a low-fermentable carbohydrate food. This means it has lower levels of fermentable carbohydrates that can trigger digestive issues like bloating, especially in people with sensitive stomachs, irritable bowel syndrome, or colitis. Being low in fermentable carbohydrates suggests that kale is less likely to cause bloating compared to high fermentable carbohydrate foods. However, kale is also high in fiber, particularly insoluble fiber. This type of fiber adds bulk to stool and supports gut health. But for some individuals with irritable bowel syndrome or colitis, consuming high amounts of fiber, especially from raw kale, can be hard to digest. This may lead to bloating, gas, or even constipation if eaten in large quantities or without proper preparation. The rigid fiber in raw kale can sometimes get stuck in the intestines, causing discomfort. Cruciferous vegetables like kale can be more challenging to digest due to certain compounds they contain. This can lead to gas and bloating in sensitive individuals, particularly when eaten raw. Cooking kale by roasting, boiling, or sautéing can help break down some of the fiber, making it easier to digest. For those with sensitive stomachs, irritable bowel syndrome, or colitis, kale may cause bloating if eaten raw or in large amounts due to its fiber content and classification as a cruciferous vegetable. However, when consumed in moderation and properly cooked, kale is less likely to trigger bloating and can fit into a low-fermentable carbohydrate diet aimed at minimizing digestive symptoms. Here are some practical tips for those with sensitive stomachs or irritable bowel syndrome or colitis. Start with small portions of cooked kale to see how your body reacts. If raw kale causes discomfort, it is best to avoid it. Gradually incorporate kale into your meals to allow your gut to adjust. Pair kale with other low-fermentable carbohydrate foods to reduce the risk of bloating. Lastly, consulting a healthcare professional or dietitian can provide personalized guidance on including kale in your low-fermentable carbohydrate diet. In summary, while kale is low in fermentable carbohydrates and generally safe, its fiber content and classification as a cruciferous vegetable mean it can cause bloating in sensitive individuals, especially if consumed raw or in large amounts. Cooking and portion control can help reduce this risk.